So today in this video, I'm going to give you my 5 tips to practicing consecutive interpretation, getting the most out of your practice when you're practicing with consecutive interpretation. So the first item on our list is don't look at the script. It may seem silly, but this is something that a lot of folks do when they're practicing consecutive interpreting, is to look at the script. A lot of folks ask me on my YouTube channel, actually, can you send me the script? I need a copy of the script. Where can I find the script? Because I want to read along with it while I'm practicing interpreting. Don't do that. Don't read the script. Because ideally, and this brings us to point number 2, you should be practicing your memory while you are practicing consecutive interpretation. Don't practice one sentence at a time. Again, this is something that I see a lot of students do. I see a lot of folks do when they're practicing is they only practice with one sentence at a time. Oftentimes, the scripts that I write will be multiple sentences per utterance. And there's a reason for that. That's actually usually how providers speak when they are addressing patients and how patients speak when they're addressing providers. They don't speak in one sentence at a time. Even if we include in our pre-session, please speak in short phrases. Oftentimes, people aren't going to speak in short phrases, no matter how many times we remind them. So we need to use our consecutive practice as an opportunity to improve our memory retention. Tip number 3 is practice tone and intonation, as well as inflection when you are interpreting consecutively, when you're practicing with consecutive. Let's face it, when a patient is speaking or when a provider is speaking in the field, they're not going to speak in monotone. So you shouldn't interpret in monotone. You should interpret tone of voice as well as emphasis. There's a difference between why do you need more pain medicine versus why do you need more pain medicine? Why do you need more pain medicine? That's an example of different emphasis on different words. Whereas tone, if someone's angry, they're going to go, I'm really angry. You need to interpret, I'm really angry, not I'm really angry. This actually brings me to my next point, is if you're practicing with a partner and someone is reading off the script as you practice, try and put some oomph into it. Put some emotion into that. Be sure that when you're reading the script, you're putting yourself in that person's shoes. And you're able to convey tone. If someone's angry in the interpreting script that you're reading, if someone's upset, you should convey those emotions. So not only is this going to help you with, interpreting tone, it's also going to help you with putting yourself in other people's shoes, empathizing with other people. I really, really think that as interpreters, we undervalue emotional intelligence and all those different soft skills that we utilize actually a lot in interpretation. So this is a great opportunity for you to practice with that and for you to be able to put yourself in someone else's shoes. And my last quick tip for practicing consecutive interpretation to make the most of your practice is incorporate some vocabulary exercises. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to stop practicing with your script and do a vocabulary exercise. This means that 1, if you come across an unknown term, instead of ignoring it, instead of just writing it down and tossing it away for that session, put it into a list of words that you study. I have a stack on Quizlet that I add new words that I learn every week, almost every day. I'm an experienced interpreter, and yes, I do often learn new words every day. Put those words somewhere where you're going to be able to practice them, even if it's as simple as writing it on a Post-it note and putting it next to your mirror in the morning. That way you see that word and become familiar with that word. And in addition, you can do some more interesting things too. Even if you don't come across a word you don't know, you might come across a word, let's say you come across the word stomach, and you're interpreting that. Say to yourself, okay, how many words do I know for stomach? Let's try to raise the register a bit. Of course, when you're interpreting, you don't want to raise the register, but at the very least, you can take a moment, stop, and think, okay, let's see if I can't expand my vocabulary here. Let's see if I can't draw in some other knowledge. Let's see if I can't expand my horizons a bit. So, those are my 5 tips for getting the most out of practicing consecutive interpretation. If you have your own tips, please share them with me below in the comments. And as always, feel free to join us on interpremed.com, where we often practice consecutive interpretation as well as simultaneous interpretation, sight translation. Geez, what do we not practice? We practice everything in our live meetings on interpremed.com. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe.